So you're saying to say, hey, yes, this happened, you know, and stop like just repressing it, and then you can actually deal with it and move on.
It's okay to be upset about it. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to cry.
Right.
But I believe that it is necessary and very important to discuss those things and not let them just go and live inside you.
Right.
But talk to somebody that you know and you care about. And
Right.
whatever that may be, if whoever, it's really important.
So when you finally did get adopted by this wonderful, fabulous family, was the transition smooth? Was it rocky? How was the transition? Because if you go through troubled times and then you go into a wonderful family and you're young, how do you adapt to that?
Well, what was beautiful about this whole thing, Jessica, is that I actually was adopted into a home with a younger brother who was 3 at the time.
And this is your biological?
This is actually technically my adopted brother.
Okay.
Of course, that's never anything
Right.
that I consider, but
Right.
Yes, he's my
Okay.
adopted brother, and a beautiful person, and so willing to share his mom and his dad with his new brother and sister.
Well, I just wanted to clarify because you had said earlier that you were
Yes.
adopted with a
I
biological
was.
brother, so I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that you had another brother in addition to your biological.
You're absolutely
Okay,
right
go ahead.
about that. I do. I know. It's a one big happy family. Yes, I was adopted with my biological brother, Neil.
Perfect.
And we moved into this beautiful home, loving people, and Steve is my new brother. So it was a wonderful package. And he was so willing to share his family with us. So that door was wide open. He's showing us around to our new rooms.
Aww.
And at the time, Neil and I wanted nothing more than what we considered a forever family, someone who
Right.
we would never part with and who would be our family till the end. So going into this home was never hard. There was really no adjustment to be made. It was just, it felt right, it was comfortable, and I can remember those first couple of nights there and the days, and just soaking it all in, and I don't remember even one night going by that it wasn't, you know, good night mom, good night
Right.
dad. I mean, those endearing you know, names and things, they were there from the very beginning. So there was no adjustment, but you know, that's me and my lucky life.
Right.
It doesn't happen that way for everybody. So we were
Well,
very
that's,
lucky.
I think that's special that you even consider it a lucky life, because you have been through trouble, and a lot of people, I don't think, would say, oh, well, you're lucky to be going through all that. But do you feel that all this stuff that you went through, kind of being adopted by such a wonderful family, in not so many words, but kind of makes up, or, you know, says, okay, well, so it was kind of worth going through all that, knowing that, hey, there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow kind of thing?
Absolutely. You know, there's so many families that struggle, you know, whether it's drugs, alcohol, addictions of all kinds, and or just pain, just financial problems, whatever it may be. And the children are suffering in those homes. And I was lucky. I was lucky, and Neil, my biological brother, are very lucky to have been given the chance to have a home that was ready for us with open arms, and it was as if that's exactly where we belonged from the beginning. So we are lucky. I mean, it's a lucky life, and I wish that more kids could have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that have, my hope is that they look at it in a positive light that I do. So.
And that's, I mean, that means a lot, that you have this family that, you know, was willing to open their arms to you, and that you came into. And was there ever a time that they didn't treat you like biologically you are mine?
Not one day, not one moment, never. Never has it ever been a feeling or anything said. Like I said, I remember those first days in this home, and it was as if we had always been there. Our rooms were painted and decorated, and we had all these wonderful toys and things, and Pop-Tarts for the first time. I mean, I can just remember just moments and things that people take for granted, you know.
Right.
Who doesn't know what a Pop-Tart is? Neil and I didn't. And, you know, a cinnamon Pop-Tart was the world that first morning, I'll tell you. But you know, I was blessed. Neil was blessed.
And I
to
think
be in this home.
what's most important though is that, you know, there are people out there that have kids and who are not the best parents. So I don't think it's necessarily that adopted versus, you know, biological. You know, it's about the love that you felt from this family, like you said, from the very beginning, and that you felt like you had always been there, you always should be there. But is there ever a time, or has there ever been a time that you were curious about your biological parents, or that you wanted to find out about them, or assuming you don't know anything about them now?
I don't. That day will come. I'm sure that, you know, I definitely, just say right off the bat, first and foremost, I have no hard feelings towards these people whatsoever. I mean, it took a lot, and
Right.
obviously their decision came from love. It had to be, because they knew that they couldn't give us a life that we
Right.
deserved. So giving us up, I can imagine as a parent, has to be the most devastating thing. And they gave us a life and a loving family. And for that, I have no hard feelings. At this time in my life, no, I have not pursued knowing who they are, finding them. That day may come down the line when I'm good and ready. And of course, that's something that, as a family, we all have to prepare for and go through together. So,
well, and I think that's important that you say as a family, because I mean, it does include everybody. But I think also a lot of people who are not directly involved in adoption, I don't think that they can fully understand the can of worms, so to speak, that it opens when you go trying to find someone like that. And I just think that some people may jump into it, some people have no desire to do it. But tell me, as someone who wasn't adopted, what has kept you from finding that, or what you think, or finding them, or what you think will need to come in order for you to look for that, or if that just doesn't interest you at all, and why it doesn't interest you?
Well, I'm still fairly young. You know, I'm in my early 20s. Before I was 18, of course, I knew absolutely, most definitely, I was not ready. That's definitely going to be, as you said, an emotional roller coaster. So, so when that day comes, it will, I'm sure, if I feel that I need that for whatever reason, medical reasons, or just to say, hey, thank you, you know, thank you for doing this for us and for giving us this life. And that's really what it's all about, because my family is my family, and they're the ones that I will, you know, be with and love forever. So I'm just not ready for it yet. It's going to be something that needs to come in its own time. So.
What does your family think about that, the day that it may come?
Well, fortunately, my family, my mom, my dad, they've been very supportive about it, and it's always been, you know what, if this is something that you'd like to do,
that's great.
We're there for you. So it's on the back burner, and if it ever comes forward, you know, I know that I'll have that backup and that support.
Well, since you were adopted, what do we want to know for people who are trying to adopt, kind of taking a little spin on it, kind of maybe putting yourself in your mom's position, or just from that perspective, your mom and dad's, or from that perspective, what does the public need to know from that aspect of it?
From parents who are going to be adopting, it's interesting you asked, Jessica, because about once a month I go and actually speak to parents who are going to be adopting, and I tell them my story, and I let them know that, look, I am living proof that this is a positive thing, that you know, you're not necessarily going to get some run-amok child who's been through, you know, just been through all kinds of turmoil, and is going to be very difficult for you. Of course, Neil and I came from very, very hard years, and it can make you or break you. But if you are strong and you believe in the child, it's going to work out, and all they need is love. I mean, oh my God, is that
all you need?
Yeah, I feel like singing. You know? Exactly.
The way you said that made me think of that song.
I went there too. I truly believe that. Honestly, that you know, that's all we had, and that's what worked in our family. So if you just don't give up on them, and you know and you acknowledge that they've been through a lot, and they've lost but they've gained,